It's time to declutter the master bathroom because I know I have way too many things that I don't use, but I usually just keep them all stored since I have the space. Hi ladies, and welcome back to our channel. We are so glad that you're joining us in this whole series. We are finally at the master bathroom, and I want to give you an overview of what it's like because it wasn't always like this. I used to have like a bamboo tower here in the corner, and all these bins and extras were stored on there. I ended up getting this rack from a person who was giving it away for free, but now it just looks like a cluttered mess. So my goal is to eliminate all these bins, and those, hopefully they'll fit in the drawer once I declutter them. So I emptied out this basket, and everything that I'm going to throw out or even possibly give away, I'm just going to throw it in here and then go through them a little later. I also brought in some extra bins that I had from around the house, and I have more in the baby's room, but he's currently sleeping, so if I need more bins, I'll just end up going and getting some. I'm going to start with the bottom drawer, and that's because I thought all my hot tools can actually fit in this bin, and I think it'll keep it a little less disorganized.
I am learning more and more that a second sweep is definitely needed. I actually got rid of the mini straightener in my second sweep.
I bought this curling iron in hopes that it'll help to just curl my hair the few days that I use it, and I actually don't like it at all, so I definitely need to part with this.
But if we don't go through our stuff regularly, we tend to accumulate a lot more than we use or need.
Currently, this is still my go-to curling iron.
Since the drawers were so stuffy, I decided to use the method where I group things first and then I declutter, and some things I'm able to declutter as I go through it. But other times I use decluttering method first and then organize the things that are left.
I had no idea I even had nail polish in here. That doesn't even belong here.
And that's actually one of the reasons why I have an alarm now on my phone to go through everything every 6 months. I think it'll be much faster the next time around, especially since I've done second sweeps in most areas, and other areas even have a third sweep that I went through. I love the idea of having a case for my straightener, but I think it's so tight and hard to put it back in that I just need to get rid of it.
I don't use these for my blow dryer, but I'm going to confirm just to make sure that I can part with it in case somebody else in the family uses them. Definitely don't need a second straightener, but I held on to it just in case my first one would break.
And I didn't even have a clue that I had 4 straighteners in there. And it makes sense because they were at the bottom.
I don't even know where I got this from, but it's a super mini one. I definitely do not need it. And then I have the brush for doing facials, which I don't even know where the facial stuff is. Somewhere around here. I used to love this thing when we first got it. It's for toothpaste, but now we don't use it anymore. Or maybe I should just give it to one of the girls and see if it helps them.
Because one of them was asking me about an easier way to get the toothpaste out. Well, this was a really nice fit.
I already love the fact that the hot tools all fit on one side, and now they're just a little bit more put together.
I have done a second sweep of many of these products that I thought I would use, and so even more things were eliminated in that second sweep.
Lavender one is the way to go if you don't want to keep spending a lot of money on dry shampoo. Granted, I do have a few dry shampoos. It's just a good way to save money. I do love this one, and especially the one that is perfectly for blondes.
I really love the blonde one because whenever I feel like I need a little bit of a touch up with highlights, I just use that and it looks like I got fresh highlights.
As much as I'd like to believe that I'll use this sugar scrub, it's been sitting here for a while, so I'm going to go ahead and toss it.
And by a while, I mean approximately a decade, so it's quite embarrassing how many things I've kept over the years in hopes that I'll use them. So obviously going through my stuff is something that I desperately need to do.
I like having it in a bag because I usually go ahead and just grab the curler, so it's just nice to kind of have them separated.
Now I can easily access the blow dryer and the curler, and then the few times that I use the straightener, I could also grab it quickly.
Remember I told you that I keep a lot of boxes because it really helps to keep things contained. So here's another sugar scrub that I'll just be parting with because I keep telling myself I'll use it, but I just forget and I don't use it. Maybe if it was sitting on the sink, I would use it.
But obviously I can live without it, so definitely time to get rid of it.
I also ended up getting a makeup brush cleaner, and I noticed that it just doesn't do a good job like when you wash it with shampoo and just do it yourself. So I'm gonna go ahead and put all these together and get rid of it. All right, I'm moving on to this section. So I actually know that these are for my wax kit, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the linen closet because that's where I have all the waxing stuff. And then I could probably toss a lot of these out because they're old and I don't really use them. Lotions, some straightening thing for hair, which again, I don't really straighten my hair, so I don't need it.
Definitely don't need it for the once or twice a year I straighten my hair.
I do like these, it just helps to like give your hair a little bit of volume.
However, since they're so old, I decided to throw them out.
Oh, and another dry shampoo, which I didn't even know I had.
Definitely make sure to do a second sweep.
Some of these I don't even know what they are anymore. I do like that one. I don't use mousse, so I can go ahead and pass that along. Root lifting spray. Yeah, I'll give it a try now that I know I have it.
I wanted to give it a try, but honestly I still didn't, so I threw it out.
And I absolutely love my purple shampoo.
I'm definitely noticing that the less clutter we have, the more I get to see what we actually own. And so the more I get to see what we own and it's more organized, the easier it is to still get rid of things.
So I'm gonna go ahead and put all the hair products there. I do have a face one. Maybe it could go at the top because that's usually where I keep my face stuff. So this is all hair products.
I ended up having 3 dry shampoos, and I think it's safe to say that I definitely do not need 3 of them, but I actually had no clue that I had that many. So this is a face mask, and I should probably put it with the face things. And then I also have the jewelry cleaner in the other black container. Here are the rest of the face stuff, and I'm going to put them down here for now.
I'll put things related to jewelry in here. I don't know if I have anything else for cleaning jewelry, but I'll just start a little bin and then I'll see how it works.
When it comes to actually organizing, I always feel like I'm moving bins around, trying to readjust and figure out how they fit the best.
I do really, really like this, but I haven't used it in a while. And that's because I don't know where the candles are.
I ended up finding them and being able to move them in this drawer so that they could all be together.
Out of the 2 gloves for hot products, I'm gonna go ahead and keep the smaller one. That way when the kids use it as they get older, they could actually have something to protect their hands.
Now this is the container that holds the water floss, and unfortunately I can't fit it standing up. That would be the ideal way to use my vertical space. Unfortunately, I still have to lay it down because the drawer is not tall enough to accommodate for it. I also love the idea of having a candle in the bathroom, but unfortunately since I don't have a lighter in this bathroom, I feel like I rarely ever turn it on. And so maybe I need to actually add a lighter in here so that way I could actually use the candles that I have.
Perfect. All right, so here it is. First we have my hot tools. Then I have the candles here, just 2 of them, followed by tea things. I'm gonna go ahead and add toothbrushes in here. Then I have the little face stuff up here. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with the actual jewelry cleaner, but for now I'm just gonna stick it in here. Then I have all my hair products, which kind of seems like a lot, but I do feel like I have several of one. So now I just know that I shouldn't be buying any dry shampoo until I'm out of these 3.
Here's the before in case you don't remember what it looks like, and this is what it looks like after. Now I'm going to dive into the top drawer, which actually even looks worse than the bottom one. So everything is pretty much grouped here, except for I think I just need to get rid of a bunch of things because they just seem like they're all exploding and they barely fit in here. I am also able to replace some of the boxes that I used with some of the bins that I used in the girls' bathroom, since I had a few extra ones left. Something that I learned as I went through these 2 drawers is that anytime things are really, really stacked, I tend to just forget about what's on the bottom and not use it. So what I'd like to do with this drawer is make sure that things are a bit more airy and not as stacked on top of each other. So I'm going to attempt at taking it all out and kind of reconfiguring everything, getting rid of things that I don't actually use. Like I saved the 2 empty deodorants in hopes that I would make some homemade deodorant, but I haven't gotten around to it, so it's definitely time to just throw them out. And I'm tossing these 2 perfumes because they are over a decade old. But one of them is actually from Romania, and it was really hard to get back in the day when I absolutely loved the smell, in addition to the self-tanner. But I think it's time to get rid of it as I don't really use them. I also have these samples that I just have to be okay with letting go. If I haven't used them in the whole time that I've had them, I definitely will not be using them moving forward. I'm going to wipe it down quickly, and then we could go ahead and try to regroup and see what things I actually use.
From 3 bronzers, I'm just going to condense to 1 of them. I already don't like the fact that this one is loose powder, but when I open it, it's all going to come out, so I'm not even bother opening that one. I think this is the one I'm going to keep. Perfect. Whoops. Totally kidding. I guess I'm just going to keep the one that's packed because it's less messy. Definitely don't need 2 of these, so I'm going to go ahead and stick with my new one and get rid of the old one. 3 more things that I don't currently use, so I'm going to go ahead and toss them.
Initially, this bin was just for my go-to items, followed by my makeup bin with my hair ties.
So I was able to condense, this is pretty much my makeup now, with 2 eyeshadows right there, and then makeup remover. This is what I use to wash my face with the washcloth, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that here. I also use this to wash my face. I don't use it often. I'm going to go ahead and take it out, that way I can actually see it.
I felt like the makeup bag kept it hidden, and so I kept forgetting that I even have a facial brush.
And then I'll figure out which heads I use and which ones I can just toss and get rid of.
I'm not head over heels for this case, but I think it comes in handy, especially since I don't have a container that size.
Just realized I do have a little bit more makeup. I'm going to go ahead and toss it in there. And then this is for daily oil control. I absolutely love it.
But since it's so old, I ended up throwing it out in the second sweep, and then I actually made a list of things that I want to replace, since I really shouldn't be using products that are so old. But it's hard to keep track of all of them since there's no expiration on many of these. So what I'm going to do is actually write the expiration date as I order the new products in. And here's my epilator, which I love, and I want to keep separate from all the other things that have cords because I feel like they're always tangling up and I'm struggling to figure out which one's which. Organizing with bins that are different sizes, it's kind of like playing Tetris. We are constantly readjusting and figuring out what fits where. I might have to look in my pile to see if I have smaller containers so that I could actually group these into smaller categories, like my nail stuff separate from my razor and things like that. I love that I have a bit of extra space up here. That way I could actually include the things that are in the bin in the bathroom in these two drawers and make it work. Here's what I got rid of in the first sweep, and then don't forget I did a second sweep of this, and I ended up being able to fit everything in the two drawers. So no more bins above the toilet. Here's what it looks like before. Here's what it looks like after a second decluttering sweep. So I have these two jars that everyone uses in the house, and then my brush will go in this area. My epilator and hair removal things are here, followed by my nail section, deodorant, and jewelry section. Then I have my hair ties, my little makeup section where I need to order the new products that don't have strong chemicals in them. Then I also have my face wash in there. Then I also have this makeup sponge, and I have an overflow of them in this container. Lastly, I have my perfumes in this corner. So here's what I've been doing anytime I get something new. I bought a new phone case because my old one was ripping, and I have to make sure to actually get rid of the item that I'm replacing. So anytime we have one item that comes in, one item has to be donated or thrown out.
So I absolutely love these shoes. They are perfect for summer, perfect for spring and fall. But look at what happened. They shrunk. And it's so frustrating because I left them out in the sun and now I have shoes that don't fit. One fits and one doesn't. So I think it's time to get rid of them. I was hoping to shrink the other one and give them to my oldest, but it's not working. And I've just been hoping that they like loosen, and they haven't. So definitely time to get rid of them.
So don't feel bad to let go of some of the projects that you simply will not get to, like these shoes on my to-do list. Here are some of the clothes that we are also passing along that we will not be using. I'm finding that the decluttering process is moving forward much faster when I actually get rid of more things as I'm just going about my day-to-day things. So as the girls were looking for a pair of shoes, I realized that these shoes they don't actually wear, and so I went ahead and just tossed them in the donate pile, or I just threw them out. So keeping an eye out for these items will really help move the process along much faster. Here's an actual bag that my daughter ended up bringing to me. This was 726 pieces just in this Ziploc bag. Currently, I'm doing tons of research on the makeup products that I want to replace, and so I will do a whole separate video on what I actually chose to go with for safe products. I ended up counting the Legos just as one so that we could actually get a really good idea of how many things we're getting rid of from the house. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week.